Hello, and welcome to my Reteach It project. During our time together, we're going to discuss how queer people do gender. As there are far too many genders and gender expressions to cover in one presentation, I will be specifically diving into how cisgender gay men and cisgender gay women do gender. So, a question to kick it off: when you think of a cisgender gay man, what image comes to mind? Gay cisgender men, like anybody else, express their gender identity in diverse ways that can reflect, reject, reshape traditional ideas of masculinity or femininity. Gay men often perform their gender within the gender binary by embracing features, qualities, and characteristics that can lean masculine or lean feminine or anywhere in between. The performance of masculinity or femininity is influenced by personal identity, cultural background, social expectations, and even resistance to stereotypes. Some gay men perform masculinity in ways that align with mainstream or hegemonic norms, such as showing physical strength, emotional restraint, competitiveness, or having traditionally masculine appearance, such as having a beard, big muscles, or a low voice. These might be authentic traits, but sometimes they can be a strategic move to avoid homophobia or gain social acceptance. Gay men who try to enhance the qualities typically associated with straight acting men do what we call masking, which is a portmanteau of masculine and masking. Other gay men may embrace traits culturally coded as feminine, like this person, aka myself, in this photo. So they might embrace a certain expressiveness, a nurturing behavior, different fashion choices like lipstick or glitter, or a lighter or higher vocal tone, such as the one you might be hearing in this presentation. This can be a reflection of their personality, an act of resistance against rigid gender norms, or even a celebration of their queer identity. Many gay men mix and match traits. So they might be masculine in some areas, such as physicality or style, while expressing maybe some femininity in others, like their gestures or speech patterns. This fluidity challenges binary gender expectation and highlights the performative nature of gender itself. Gay cis male culture is not free from rape culture and sexual violence, or an environment that excuses or normalizes sexual pressure and violence. Gay men who identify as masculine are often viewed as tops or the giver in sexual acts. So they might present themselves as macho, strong, or even look down on or subjugate effeminate men. While gay men who identify as feminine are often viewed as bottoms or the receiver of the sexual act. These men are particularly scrutinized and even shamed. This example is in direct alignment with how we use our gender binary classes, or how our brain likes to categorize things into masculine or feminine and attach stereotypical attributes to them. As you can guess, and much like in the heterosexual, hegemonic social world we live in, studies show that gay men tend to value more masculine attributes and value the appearance of masculinity in public. This creates a dynamic where masculinity is valued more highly than femininity. Overwhelmingly, gay men have stated that there is a high level of pressure to look attractive in order to be accepted by society and to be desired by other gay men. Heartbreakingly, many gay men wish they are more masculine than they feel they are. This indicates that there is a direct link between the value of masculinity in gay cis male culture and negative feelings about being gay. So now, to revisit the question, when you think of a cisgender gay man, what image comes to mind? And how has this image changed? Next question to kick off this part of the discussion: when you think of a cisgender gay woman, what image comes to mind? Much like gay cisgender men, gay women, who can identify as lesbians, are also players in the game of binary gender performance. Lesbian masculinity and femininity can be expressed through gender via appearance, behavior, roles we play, and identity, even outside of or in resistance to mainstream heteronormative expectations. Lesbian masculinity can be an expression of gender that challenges the traditional female heteronormative idea of what a woman looks and acts like. Examples of how masculine lesbians do gender can be adopting styles or behaviors that are traditionally coded as masculine, like having short hair, wearing suits, or even having an assertive demeanor. A well-known expression of lesbian masculinity can be known as a butch identity, which can involve having some pride in a strong, protective, or dominant role, otherwise kind of known as a masculine role. Butch lesbians can often be seen paired with a femme partner, furthering the heteronormative ideal that a masculine partner is paired with a feminine partner. Lesbians also express gender in feminine ways, in ways that may align with traditional feminine norms. These feminine norms, however, also challenge them by existing outside of the male gaze, or by being feminine but not tailored for the hypothetical heterosexual man. These are women who exist for women. Feminine lesbians, or femmes, embrace traditional femininity, often with makeup, dresses, long hair, and the sort. Feminine lesbians often deal with invisibility because of stereotypes that equate lesbianism with masculinity. Similar in ways to the gay cis male community, studies show that body expectations and the mental toll it takes largely lands along masculine and feminine lines. Lesbians who aligned more with femininity reported more preoccupation with their weight, less body satisfaction, and were more likely to invest in their appearance. While lesbians who aligned more with masculinity had less negative feelings about their body, were less occupied with their weight, less likely to feel overweight, and overall more satisfied with their bodies. Meaning, society places more pressure on traditionally feminine bodies than socially masculine ones. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sexual minorities, such as gay men and women, are particularly at risk of being held violently accountable for their gender expression, known as gender policing. While not all gender policing is violent, sexual minorities are at a much higher risk of hate crimes. Nearly a quarter of all hate crimes in 2020 were targeted at sexual minorities based on their sexual identity or orientation. So to revisit the question, when you think of a cisgender gay woman, what image comes to mind now? Has this image changed? Thank you for watching my presentation. I hope you leave this with a better understanding of how a small faction of queer people do gender, as well as a heightened sense of empathy for queer people everywhere.